Yeah, so what I'd like to do, which again, all the optionality initially is around for, I was thinking about how to bring a sense of kind of um, sense of these motivational systems into focus, and I thought actually an imagery practice might be useful for this. As often imagery work can help kind of connect into um, our kind of felt sense of things. And this is an adaptation actually of a of an approach used within focusing by good old Eugene. I must learn how to say his name. It's either Eugene Gendlin or Jeanlin. But I quite like Gendlin because it sounds like you're doing something. Oh, I'm just going to do a bit of Gendlin, if you don't mind. Anyway, um, so if you're comfortable with this, this is one where by all means get into whatever, there's more kind of laid back sort of position or a focus position, whatever's your kind of thing for doing something that's more about connecting into whatever your version of imagination is. Some people more visual, some people more auditory, some more body based, and I'll hopefully kind of welcome in all these different ways of kind of having a sense of things. But my plan is to do, yeah, about it will be about 15 minutes, just a little bit of time at the end to check in with that. So as ever, make choices as you go along. If this is not for you or not for you for a while, just come out of this and do your own kind of thing with this. So initially, I'd invite you just to find a comfortable position to be in. And just taking a few moments just to settle your body in to that comfortable position. It's as if you did have a blanket, you were kind of tucking yourself in. So that feeling of just, yeah, here we go, body. Let's just get you settled in here. And maybe focusing in to the places you can feel contact between whatever's supporting your body and your body. And allowing your body to rest into those places of contact. So it could be your feet, letting your feet rest into what's supporting your feet. It could be your sitting bones, your back. It could be your hands, your arms, maybe your head. So different places you're feeling that sense of contact, allowing your body to rest into those places of contact. And what's it like to kind of just let the body go into those places of contact? It could be on kind of breaths out, that particularly feels like it happens, just the letting go of the breath. Maybe can just help encourage the body to let go into what's supporting your body. If you need to move your body at any time, that's absolutely fine. Just kind of notice how it is to make those movements and then let your body rest back into whatever those supports are. Hmm. And this could be just where you stay with this practice. It might just be nice just to stay with resting into whatever's supporting your body. And that may just feel like it's enough. If you want to kind of take this kind of guided imagery, invitation, what I'd invite you to do is to have a sense in some way that you're traveling towards a place where you know you can be at rest, where you know you can be okay. To whatever extent that feels kind of right and okay to be doing. And maybe you just kind of feel yourself in some way, moving along, traveling along in some way towards that place. Totally up to you how you're traveling there. Or it could be that you just kind of know you're on your way in some background sort of way. Or it might be that in some way you've got images in your mind or sounds, all these different ways we can experience the wonderful way our mind can create this inner sense of inner worlds. Again, checking in that this is all okay as you're going along and choosing to do something else if not. So kind of traveling along to sense of this place. And maybe at some point, having a sense of arriving at this place where you know you can be at ease. You may be actively at ease or more kind of at rest, at ease. Totally up to you what kind of place that would be and how you'd be in that place. But when you're there, maybe again, really feeling your way into what's here for you when you're in such a place. It's almost like you had the most amazing remote control and you can just change everything around this place, about this place, just to make it just how you want it to be. It may be a mixture of real and imaginary, one or the other, totally up to you. It's not crucial to get anything perfect, it's just kind of good enough. Just some way you think, yeah, if I was there, if it was like that, wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, that's somewhere I'd be okay there, a bit more okay. And maybe in this place, in some way, you'd be feeling it. Maybe there's temperature, stuff under your feet or on what's supporting you, the feel of the air that's there. I don't know, it could be the sounds you're hearing, or it could be completely quiet, There might be stuff there in your visual imagination that you're kind of seeing in your mind's eye. Or maybe not, it doesn't matter. It's just about what's it like to bring some inner sense of how it would be in a place that kind of welcomes you in. When you're there, you can see, yeah, this is a place that even if it's kind of half guessed at, vague sense of it, kind of is okay with me being there, welcomes me in. It's my kind of place, this. And really just noticing what it'd be like to be in such a place. I quite like experimenting with the sense of almost breathing the qualities of that place in. And that may come in with, again, a felt sense, some kind of inner knowing sense, maybe, I don't know, colours, light, sounds, who knows what may be part of that. Maybe an aroma in the air or temperature of that, the air of that place. So when you breathe it in, it's kind of bringing in with that air a sense of, yeah, and this is soaking in, spreading through this sense of, oh, this is an okay place to be. And maybe when you're breathing out in your own rate and rhythm, no right or wrong way to be breathing. Maybe letting go of that breath, just a sense of as you're letting go, you're kind of letting yourself soak into those helpful feelings if they're there for you. Again, maybe really kind of vague, half guessed at, coming and going. That's all absolutely fine. You're just kind of giving this a bit of a test drive, seeing what it's like. And maybe feeling into how that might be in your body, if that seems available. Again, could be quite vague or more vivid. How might your body feel in a place that you can just be at ease? And just having a minute or two just to kind of in your own way settle into that place. Find your attention wanders away from that place, it's fine. Just notice that's around, but how is it to come back? Letting that all be more in the background for a moment. Then maybe, kind of letting that settle in, that feeling, just noticing, is there anything you could imagine you've been kind of carrying with you on this journey to this place? Maybe it's like having a backpack on your back you just didn't know was there, or weights on your shoulder, or some kind of sense of stuff, bags, who knows what, but stuff that's just around in some way that's kind of there and a bit of a weight, a bit of a burden. Maybe it's stuff that feels quite clear or quite vague. But how would it be if you could just, and it can just be for a moment, just let some of that stuff just be put down. Let that rest on the ground. Let the ground there take the weight of whatever that stuff is. Yeah, just here for a moment, I can let that drop. Just like maybe you are traveling somewhere with, carrying something that's heavy, and every now and then you do let it rest. Catch your breath, and if you have to pick it up again, that's all okay. But what's it like to really focus in on just letting that stuff rest, just off to one side? You could even put it far to one side, let it kind of be way off in the background somewhere, whatever feels kind of right for you, who knows? Float off, rest somewhere else. And kind of just noticing if, as you do that, what the feeling of letting that go is. How does the breath move in your body? How does your body rest into the supports? Sort of felt sense of, yeah, that's what it's like when I've let a little bit of this stuff go. Maybe just kind of asking yourself, is there anything else kind of that's getting in the way of letting this stuff go? So I can just be okay in this place of ease. There'll be stuff in your mind that says, well, you're not supposed to drop this stuff, or perhaps you don't pick it up again, who knows? Or could be all kinds of stuff in the mind. There'll be stuff you feel in the body, stuff happening around you. So like just to kind of almost have a sense of feeling the weight of that stuff and then letting that rest by you as well. However far that resting by you might be. And again, just asking anything else, just getting in the way, standing between me, coming between me, just feeling okay here, feeling at ease. Any background stuff, any have tos, musts, oughts, shoulds, any of that could just be for a tiniest moment, just loosened, even if you pick it straight back up again. What was that little moment like? Would you let it go again? So just kind of giving this a test drive, being quite playful. Coming back, the felt sense of being in a place where you can let stuff go. Let the burden drop for a moment. And feeling what that's like. Maybe there's some quite harsh things around it often you're living with. Could there be a little bit of distance from those if you just let them rest wherever they need to rest for a moment? And if any of this is helpful, maybe just take a few moments to really register the feeling of this in your body, felt sense of it. Maybe that comes with a sense of inner knowing or visual, sound-based stuff. Who knows what's around for you? Particular feel of the breath, who knows? And maybe again, just really having a sense of letting that soak in, spread through, registering this so that if you wanted to come back to a similar kind of place again, you sort of have a memory imprinted there. It's like an inner post-it note. Yeah, this is a little guide map, pathway. It's how I can get somewhere on the lines on the way to this kind of place in the future. And then as we come to an end of this practice, maybe just noticing if there's anything here you feel, yeah, I need to pick that back up again. And then just noticing what that's like, picking it back up, having had a bit of a rest. Maybe there's relief, reluctance, uncertainty. Maybe that there's kind of noticing patterns in all of this, which could be something to explore a future time. And then maybe bring your attention more into the sense of how your body's supported. So making your own decisions about how you want to kind of let that place fade into the background. Maybe there's a sense it's kind of there in some helpful way inwardly. Maybe it's just come to an end. You've kind of traveled away from that place. Who knows what's kind of right for you to bring that imagery aspect to an end. And maybe coming into more physical sense of, yeah, here's those places of contact. Feet on floor, hands, how your body's supported. Maybe take quite a deliberate breath in, really feeling the in-breath if that's comfortable to do. How your body moves with the in-breath and releasing that, letting that go. Maybe bringing some movements in. I quite like these alternating movements just to kind of have one foot up, one foot down, one toe, the other toe. Just that sense of maybe slow or quick, whatever feels right. Just bringing some alternating movements, noticing the different sides. Could be your feet, could be your hands. Moving to stretching. If your eyes were closed, looking around, really seeing something you can see. It's quite helpful to really look at something, maybe follow the outlines of something, corner to corner around the edges. Listening out for the sounds you can hear around you. Maybe pick out one particular sound. Again, stretching, moving, bringing that to an end. So I'm fine to stay a little longer if Zoom doesn't kick us all out. But I appreciate I've come to the end of 9 o'clock. So for those who need to go, please do. But if anyone wants to come in with any reflections on that practice, then I'm really interested to do so. For me, that's a practice that it feels it takes me to a place where I can explore a kind of an open, mindful, often self-compassionate state where I'm focusing on some of those kind of drivers that are around that I'm kind of carrying with me that are often pushing the drive and defense system into activity. But if whether that's in the chat or in with audio, so really interested in any reflections on, including, that one just isn't for me. That's not my kind of thing. That whole imagery, sort of malarkey. So Interested always round. I like that. The knowing you can pick it up again or not, and that's maybe a whole practice in itself. Why do we feel we need to pick it up? What would happen if I didn't? And what on earth is going on in my mind if I didn't pick it up? It's probably going to find its own way back if it's something I'm dealing with persistently, but maybe it'll come back in a different way. Who knows? But interesting the kind of how our systems work with this stuff, and the maybe not being in a rush to change everything in there. Comforting to allow myself to let that shit go for a while. I think I'll leave it there for a bit. Sounds like a good choice, thank you. And felt the tension moving away from my shoulders, but also noticed how my driver hooked me. It came from my defences. Um, and you don't want to kind of, that you don't want to get the blame for. It's kind of a dot, dot, dot. So I was saying I had a bit of a chance to relax. And I should say that I think imagery, and my aim in that imagery was to be very open. So yes, there was some invitations to be quite specific about, yeah, what's it like to be letting go of things, but I was wanting to be really open about how that might happen for people. And sometimes when we do more fixed imagery, like mountain, lake, or like letting your intentions go into, imagine you're bottom of a pond and there's pebbles coming down with your intentions, those kind of things, very specific. They can sometimes be really good for some people, but less helpful for others, because if maybe you, I don't know, had a terrible experience on a mountain, then you may be self-soothing all the way through, thinking, why does someone keep saying mountain? I don't I don't want you to say mountain anymore. Thank you very much. So, but I was aiming there to be really quite open, and in particular with kinesthetic, body-based, auditory, visual, because kind of background, I know it's here kind of stuff that was hopefully allowing people to make their own decisions about what was there. So, and the olfactory, yeah, so that was interesting. Yeah, the smell of the ocean, if that was there, for is a nice comment coming in. But for some people, I think imagery can sometimes be more available than mindfulness can be as a place to be helpful, because sometimes people may have aspects of their mind that's actually quite friendly. And by helping us spend time with a friendly bit of our mind where imagery is kind of okay, we're resetting our mental relation, our kind of awareness mind relationship to say, actually, the mind can be a place of sanctuary. It doesn't have to be a place of terror. And so that can be a potent antidote that may be just mindfulness itself. It's harder to have a sense of, yeah, this is a place where I can feel at ease. At the beginnings of this, it may just feel quite so much to unhook from. All I'm ever doing is bloody unhooking. I don't get any rest in the middle of all this unhooking. Thank you very much. So different people work different ways. I think quite complementary. Anyway, I've overstayed a few minutes. So thanks so much, everyone. And I'm not sure what I'm doing in August yet, but I'll be in a couple of weeks. I'll be setting up the next kind of run of these. So I've kind of thought through some possibilities.